Hello there, fruit baskets. Welcome back to another episode of the Well, in the last episode, we fought out some bandits and some skulls and even a werewolf of some kind, and we ended up here at the front steps of the Darius Patrisco. And we were going to do that, and we are to do that. I also figured out most of the quests that I've been waiting to do. So these ones are completed, and then you have other quests in other places. Like this one is in the morgue, and this is talking to the lady back at the hospital, and we'll do those quests in a future episode. Probably after this, we'll go and finish those up.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Okay, how do we get the sense? There we go. Oh, he has bronchitis. Oh, I don't know. Now we could see it. It's just a little weird. There she is.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Oh, we got a hint.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Yeah, yes. No. We need to talk to those people. Let's go talk to them. Hello there.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Protection against malevolence and trickery.
Hello. Who are
Forgive
you?
my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reid, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Oh god.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So
Right.
you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what
Makes
happens when
sense.
you let a woman get involved in politics.
I keep messing the controls. Dorothy gives away drugs and medicine for free and was a clandestine resistant in her own. Well, we need to figure out the problem with migraines, to be honest. Have we talked to this man yet? No. Okay, back off.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more...
All
quite a...
But you...
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Bruh. Burn people alive.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Bruh.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church.
Ooh.
While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Okay. Tobias believes in Vicar of St. Church. Joseph Larrabee is preaching a false faith. Okay.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than...
All science.
Quite a judgmental opinion.
But you...
Well, I suppose I can spare a...
As a...
What do you mean?
The beast...
I have heard enough.
You guys completely... He's a complete nut job. Man, imagine, yeah, burn everyone, burn everything. Yeah, that's how you fix things, for sure. Let's talk to this fella over here.
The wars of men
Seems like a cool guy.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton,
Not really.
reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel.
Ooh, this must be the
Perhaps
guy.
you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reid.
Dr. Reid, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Ooh, we got one of those. Let's ask him stuff first.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
Oh, he's fatigued.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Okay, he's probably from around here. The truth about Whitechapel's situation.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. It's criminal. It's only logical. I don't know, man. I mean...
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Okay.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
There is a rational explanation
That
about it.
science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Yeah, they're vampires. They're vampires all around. Oh, this boy must be important. And he's strong. I'll make sure you get your fatigue
I
medicine.
heard
as
you're
soon as-
investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
Care about the public
I'm a
health.
doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives.
relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Oh, there we go.
He never goes out.
No, a few days ago he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He never...
No,
Really?
he went...
Goodbye,
Very good. We need some fatigue and some... Oh. I've been writing these down, but you can just see it here. Like the migraines, we can't do nothing about it, but bronchitis and the fatigue we can do. If we find a place, a hideout, we'll craft those. Maybe behind here. Find the mailbox and the... Oh boy, here we go. There's the guy. Oh, I'm using the controller now, by the way. If you guys didn't notice. Oh, please, thank you. It's been a while, and I... there we go. Ooh. I missed. Ooh. More. Ooh. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah, I figured out that this slot are for every skill that you can have, except your except your ultimate skill, which is a different slot from what I figured out, from what I have found out. So we probably are not going to be able to use every single skill to the rest of the playthrough, unfortunately. But I figured out that I probably, when we get to a hideout, I will tell you more about it. But I think that I am going to go with the blood spear, since there are some defensive ways to get shadow damage, and the claws do physical, like melee damage, and we already have those on our melee weapon. Am I missing something? There's someone over there. Here we are. Hello, sir. Talk to you for a second.
Beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion, and despair.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Your life in London, bruv.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Okay. And he has a cold, so...
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
But it's normal, it's raining, it is outside.
May I
There's
ask what you're doing at this
No
hour of
jacket.
night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
Yeah, you're kind of weird.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
That's... yeah. I actually get his point. Because of my job, I walk around at night and drive around the city at night time, and now with this coronavirus thing going on, I quite enjoy my night drives back to my house. It's very peaceful, but it's quite scary sometimes.
Yes.
I can see
the
his point of view.
enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Is that all? I think, yeah. The personal questions.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Camellia is like a muse to Richard Nethercott, who seems as a locked mystery. Okay. I don't know who she is, but we'll find out soon enough. Muse.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Man is kind of delusional.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Is this all you got? That's a lot of information. And what we came here to do.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Okay. A former Romanian political activist. Well, it makes sense. They're trying to shake down the system here.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
So we need to make some medicine. Is there any... I keep messing up. There's an idol. Not... Okay. Ooh. There is coming. There she is. But I believe we are running out of time in this episode. We learned a good deal about what's going on here. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm trying to keep the videos small, but they're just getting bigger and bigger because there's so much things to learn. So time. I don't want to go this way. Just unlocking things. Yeah, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, you already know what to do. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Corvo, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Goodbye.